Okay, this next part is for those of you that want to learn the reason why the solution works. If you don't want to know, I'll tell you where you can just fast forward to. I am not the world's smartest man by any means. I am not a rocket surgeon, but I am this. If there's something that doesn't look right that I can't figure out, I am like a dog with a bone, and I will keep at it until I figure it out. And that's with this whole IK thing that's happening with our DAS figures. I would not let that thing go. So I went on a little bit of a journey for about a week. And finally, the solution was like looking at me the whole time. But you really wouldn't know it unless you went through that journey. Okay? So let me explain something. Let's come back down to blueprints and let's put Quinn back in. And let's play. All right. Now when Quinn walks over to some geometry, the cool thing is her body is adjusting to its surroundings. Okay? And this is happening through something out of each foot that's called an IK tracer. That tracer is constantly shooting straight down and assessing where the surrounding geometry is. And that IK tracer is sending a signal up the leg, like the right leg, for instance, and it's saying, hey, Mr. Right Leg IK chain, you need to adjust because the foot is being elevated. And so the IK is adjusting the right leg, and that signal is also going to the hip. So we have the right and the left foot tracers sending IK signals up the legs to adjust their IK chain, and then both of those are sending a signal to the hip. And the result is a figure that can assess where it is in the 3D environment and have it realistically move around. Okay? Now, what's an IK chain? An IK chain is a rigging term, and it means like if I take my hand and I move it up or I move it down, my arm automatically reacts with it. Okay? This is an IK. My upper arm and my lower arm are attached to my shoulder, and they're doing an IK thing when I move the hand. If we come up here to the mannequins and we go into rigs, you're going to see an IK rig. Let's open that up. Okay, you can see IK, these yellow things are IK goals in each foot. So as I raise that foot, you can see the leg naturally bends. And all I'm doing is moving the foot, okay? And then the rest of the body is, and the hip is kind of moving with it as well. So the same thing for the arms. So that's an IK chain, okay? Now, over to the right here, this is a menu, and it's all the body parts. And it has start bones and end bones and IK goals. And this is the retargeter's menu to look at the other figure and go, hey man, is your left arm the same as my left arm? So when we retarget these animations, we're going to be moving in sync. And so that's what this thing is over here. It's more or less a body menu that talks to the other figure when you're doing a retargeter. If we look at the basic foot IK, this is where I learned a bunch of stuff. I knew stuff was happening with the feet, so I figured it had to do something with an IK. And I found out that actually you have to, when you want to build one of these, you first create an IK rig. And then after that, you create, where is it? An IK retargeter. All right. And this retargeter, you have a figure here to the left, which is this guy, and then a figure over here to the right, which is this one. So this guy is retargeting his animations to this new dude over here. And so you'll notice that, like I told you, the menu is looking at each one of these items and it's lining them up so when they retarget, they'll work. Now, after you build a retargeter, then you get into the basic foot IK and you build that, and then that operates the body. That's the process of building this whole thing. Now, in the IK retargeter, the IK basic foot IK, there's a lot of stuff here, and I get that, and it's totally confusing. Really, once you do this, almost 95% of this stuff are just controls. They're a gas pedal, they're a gear shift, they're a turn signal. You're just putting them in place and hooking them up. Sure, it's confusing. When I did it, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but it was only through this process of actually creating this that I discovered what was going wrong. Some of the important things to look at are the foot trace for IK foot L, foot trace for IK foot R. We got some more controls over here, IK feet, and going into the pelvis. And then we have a full body IK, which is being controlled by IK foot L and IK foot R. All right. All well and good, right? So the solution has been here all along. I didn't know it. You didn't know it. Maybe you did. But it's right down here in Engine, Plugins, and go all the way down to Daz to Unreal Content. Okay, and open up Retarget. You have an IK rig, you have a retargeter, and you have a basic foot IK. Let's go ahead and open these up. All right, so the IK rig, if yours looks like this, you want to come over here to Mesh and pop in your skeletal mesh. Okay, go ahead and save that. If we look at the IK retargeter, if you wanted to, you could come over here and pop in your mesh, which is not the mesh, it's the IK rig. So you want to pop in this IK rig, the G8 IK rig. Okay, go ahead and save. Now we're 2/3 of the way there. So now we want to look at our basic foot IK. This is an exact copy of Manny's. It has a few other controls up here that are looking at the foot and the toe. It's like a foot bend type thing. But the most important part, and where this is all going wrong, okay, is right here. We go to these foot traces again, and we can see the IK feet left and right, but they're in red. If you didn't build one of these, you wouldn't understand that that's code telling you, hey brother, something's wrong here. This is not working the way you think it should. And So what this red means is it's an error code. It's going, partner, I'm looking for the IK foot left, but I cannot find this sucker. You're going to have to help me out here. So those two aren't working. We have two more down here that are in red that aren't working. The hip is working. That's good. But then we have two more down here, completely lost. And that is the reason why, if we go back to our blueprint and pop in our character and press play, that there seems to be some issues going on. We still have the issue of something happening with the hip and the neck. That's a nice look. But the feet are just they're not operating. The IK foot tracers aren't making connections because they can't find what they're looking for within the IK rig. So the solution is right here. We need to fix this IK rig because this is the control rig for Genesis 8. The fix is super easy. All we're going to do is click right here. We're looking for IK foot L. Just type in IK. Doesn't have to be uppercase or lowercase. Just type it in, and it's automatically going to bring up the IK foot for your figure. See, it has IK foot L and right. So just choose IK foot L. Come over here. Same thing. IK foot right. One more time. IK foot left. IK foot right. IK foot left. And IK foot right. Go ahead and compile and save. All right. Now, we need to go to our animation blueprint. Open that up. And right now, if you click on Control Rig and come over here on the right-hand panel under Control Rig Class, it's actually looking, it has the Control Rig Mannequin Basic Foot IK. Okay, we're going to want to switch that over. Here are the two solutions that are out there on Google, and I saw a few other people become aware of the control rig for the G8, but they didn't fix the error codes in it. So the majority of these people are just bypassing the control rig altogether. All right, but when you do that, you've just taken out your IK tracers. So that's not really a solution that we want. The other solution that I've seen is they'll just take this alpha and turn it to 0, which again is taking the whole IK tracer thing out of the equation. So that's not a solution. If you click on Control Rig and come over here to the right, what you want to do is pop in the Control Rig G8 Basic Foot IK. Now watch this error code when I press compile. goes away. Okay? That's Unreal talking to you going, hey, I like that. It works pretty good. And so now, when we move our figure, it's moving correctly. The IKs are behaving correctly. They're interpreting the surrounding geometry. And we don't have that weird thing happening with the foot and the hip and the neck. All right, so there you go. I'm sorry it was long-winded, but you learned something, and now you know why you're doing what you're doing.